Forgot probably the most important number one thing. When I say all those three things without this thing, like this one almost equals all three of those. I'm not gonna lie, I'm another Celsius. I'm drinking another Celsius right now because the first one did not do enough. I am definitely addicted, but I don't care. If I drink three, who's gonna stop me? Who's gonna stop me from drinking three? I can feel it coursing through my veins. So in medical school, there's this thing called multiple passes. It was a weird term for me as well, but it's kind of what it is. Like there's different ways to learn information. A lecture, a resource, a YouTube video, anything over one topic, right? Anytime you go over a certain topic more than once, it's called a pass. So if you go to lecture, that's one pass. If you go to this, that's blank pass, two pass. If you do questions over something, that's another pass, right? I think it's recommended like for each topic / lecture to do about 3 passes for it. Now, me personally, me being a medical student, I've been here for a little bit. It's been a little bit over a semester. Here's what I would do. First pass, lecture. Go there. I don't prepare for lectures. You're supposed to. I think it really helps a lot, but I didn't do it. You go to lecture, I would not know anything. I would be annoyed and bored, and then people would answer questions, then it would get me more angry. And while I'm in the lecture though, I am learning even though I feel like I'm not learning anything. I really would just feel very stupid. Now, after that lecture, I would do some of my third party material. And sometimes it'll be the other way around where I start with the third party, then the lecture, and I do know some things. And I'll get into the third party stuff. But then I'll do like third party resources, and now I'm learning from that. That's my second pass. And then I start hearing things. So I'm like, oh wait, I remember that. Oh shit, I remember that. You know, and it's like when you remember something, you focus in on it. Like when we were studying about HIV, and it was like a video. I was never so focused because HIV is so real. I've heard it all my entire life. I'm like, really, I'm genuinely like concerned about this. Like, oh damn, this is insane. But when it's just like myelofibrosis, I've never heard of that word. So I'm less into it, if that makes sense, you know? So that's what's good about the second pass. Now, the third pass, and the most important, in my opinion, this is what I do. Our school offers like certain tutoring sessions or things like that. They have them 2 times a week, but you can also schedule your own. Basically that or questions, I think is the third pass, and that's the best way to do it because the information a lot of times is everywhere. You just know certain things that it's like yeah, I know this, but you couldn't answer a question because you don't have the full understanding of how the thing works. You know, like it's one thing to know like a certain, like it's one thing to know that macrophages consume bacteria and phagocyte bacteria, whatever the case. And it's another thing to know exactly how that macrophage is able to do that and where it comes from and then what happens next and things like that. Once you have that general understanding, that's when you are able to answer a real question. And that's what these tutoring systems do for me. So that was initially how I did it. Now, the problem is I don't go to lecture anymore. It's a waste of my time. Not a waste of my time, it's not a waste of my time, but I could be much more efficient, and I have been, you know, and honestly, I can be much more like relaxed, like Jesus Christ, you know what I mean? So now what I do is my first pass tends to be me looking through the first aid book, and then I do my third party resources, and then I try to schedule a session. That's kind of my, that's how I do my passes. Everybody does it differently. You're gonna get multiple passes just because you're in medical school anyways, like some of the things that you just have to do. This was long as fuck. You're gonna get these passes anyways, but yeah, I think it's important for you to be intentional about them, and that'll help a lot. Now, the next thing that I think is a very important thing in medical school is your third-party resources, whatever you decide to go with, or if you do them at all. I feel like everybody does them, but I guess there's a chance that people don't do them. Like, if anything, people don't do lectures. I don't know too many people who don't use third-party. But third-party resources are basically, there's a couple of them, and there's different resources that teach in a different way. The most common one or the most known one is B&B or Boards and Beyond. And that's the one that a lot of people use. There's Pathoma. There's so many of them, truly. There's so many. Bootcamp, Sketchy. I like to use 3 of them. I'm really big on visual learning, and especially if you're doing macro, everybody uses that, but I'm really big on visual learning, but Sketchy is one of the best things for me because when I'm in the test, I can just remember the picture. Then I remember what the picture, it really helps with memorization and just remembering certain things. Learning the information, Sketchy is not the best way for you. Learning Pathoma is the best way for me, right? But B&B, Boards and Beyond is very specific towards like the MBME or the actual step 1 exam, so it's good to do that one. So those are the 3 that I use, those 3 resources. And I think you need Sketchy at least for micro, but my entire class hates Sketchy basically for path and pharm and things like that. Pharmacology and pathology. Pathology is diseases, pharmacology is drugs that treat those diseases. That's what I like to do in regards to resources. I believe, I think Pathome is honestly the best if you can only get one of them. Pathome is honestly. Now that I've gotten into like the passages that I use, the resources that I use, I think it's about time I talk about like the schedule. I think that's what matters most of all. Like, how do I study in medical school from when I wake up to at the end of it? How do I study? What is the schedule I use? How do I use these resources? How do I use these passes, I guess? So my new method, because I don't go to class anymore, is I try my best to wake up at 8 a.m., but that is very difficult. And it shouldn't be, because 8 a.m. is not that early. But I usually wake up 7:30 and then I bullshit till 8:30, get up, brush my teeth, whatever. But say I get up at 8, because that's the goal. I get up at 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. I'm doing all of my due cards from Anki. Anki is a thing that you use for repetition because the amount of information is so much that you have to continually use it from repetition. But it's good because the first time you learn it, you don't have to learn it so well or so exact because you're going to see it again in 2 days. So that's what this thing Anki is. Almost every medical student uses it. Get Anki. I have certain due cards for this unit. I do those due cards, and they take a while. Like average 2 hours if you're going fast as fuck. And if you're one of these, I go pretty slow with mine, so 2 to 4 hours, I would say. So I do about 2 to 4 hours with Anki, and that shit gets me really tired, honestly. Like, I really fucking hate it. I used to like it at the beginning, but now it's dead ass chores. Like, it's worse than working out. I just have to do it. I'd rather do new content than the Anki because I feel like I'm not. The problem with Anki, I start to feel like I'm not progressing because, oh, it just took me 4 hours to relearn some shit that I just learned yesterday. But you need that or else you'll forget it. But it's hard for me to think like that because I wish I could do the new stuff. I know people do the new cards first and then the Anki. But I like to get the bullshit out the way, so I do the Anki first. So I do the Anki first, right? And I throw in a couple 10-minute breaks. I'm not perfect. You know, I try my best not to just keep going. If I got my Celsius, then I'm locked in for real. You know what I mean? 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. That's when I make food. I eat breakfast really late, so I'll make food. I guess I'll take like an hour break. I really try to keep that at 30 minutes. But then we start back up at 1. Now, this is when I do my new content, the new content using third party because I don't go to class anymore. This is another thing that takes a very long, everything takes a long time. I'm gonna keep it 1,000. Like this one video that you never know how long the video is gonna be. It might be 8 minutes, but even then, you're still trying to learn. So I'm gonna pause it a couple times. Not everybody does it, but I'm gonna pause it a couple times, trying to learn a little something. And that 8 minutes usually turns into 16, you know? So imagine if it's a 20-minute video, then it can turn to 40. And then if you're not on top of it, it can turn to an hour. It really can, you know? But I do 4 videos a day. That's weak. That's weak. People be doing 6. 4 videos a day is weak. But that's what I do. And that's why it takes me longer. People get done like on Friday. I usually get done on Sunday. But I am done today and it's Sunday. I did early. So I'm on my shit right now. You feel me? So you do 4 videos. This usually takes me another 4 hours. Because you have to do the 4 videos, then you have to do the Anki that's associated with that one video. So then video, 20 minutes, Anki associated with it. It could be 60 cards, 100 cards, 20 cards, hopefully 17 cards, you never know. Next video, Anki that's associated with it. Third video, Anki that's associated with it. Fourth video, Anki that's associated with it. Mind you, you're getting tired as they go on because you're not trying to study, you know? You might get a little hungry, blah, blah, blah. But the idea is that I go from 1 to 5 with new content. Now I've learned new information. I've finished all my Anki for the day. It's amazing. In this moment in time, I am actually done. I try to end my days at 5 p.m. Does that ever fucking happen? No. Why? Because I'm a dickhead. Although all that is done, there are still other things that you have to do. Like I might have an anatomy quiz that I have to do. And maybe it's not worth that much, but it's an anatomy quiz that I have to do. And then there's a chance that I just didn't learn the shit well enough. You know, it's like I'm doing the Anki. I'm just like basically getting everything wrong. And then it's like, now I have to watch a YouTube video over because I wasn't able to, you know, retain the information well enough or whatever the case may be. That's how my day-to-day goes. And that's like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because on Thursday, I actually have to show up to school and do the play doctor thing. So on those days, it's even harder for me to do like regular Anki. It's harder for me to like keep up with that stuff. And I will say, there's like a lot of medical students who like have these, I'm talking like Excel, boom, 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 boom. They know exactly like, they have like all their units in one folder and it's really good. It's really like I think that's amazing. I'm just really not the organized type. So when it comes to my studying, I just get it done. Like I don't have like a unit thing. I know a lot of people do that, like a super Anki deck or whatever the case is. I'm not one of those. Oh, forgot probably the most important number one thing. When I say all those three things without this thing, like this one almost equals all three of those. I promise. If you could just do this one and you got it like that, you might, you make something happen for it, you feel me? Yeah, the number one thing after that, once you've done all that, once you actually have your understanding, once it's all there, oh wow, it took me so long, 2 weeks to the test, I finally know shit. Now it's time to start tackling questions. And when I mean tackling questions, I mean like, you gotta do like, I don't know, is that even that much? Honestly, like 30 questions a day, that's not much. But all in all, like probably like 300 questions for sure. But 30 questions a day, it's not that much, but the problem is you have to thoroughly review those questions. What I do like, I like a good question that has multiple different answer choices that could possibly be the answer, because then it's like, now I know when this is the answer. Now, like each question, you should learn 4 things probably. The one that you know and the ones that you miss, or the ones that aren't there. So it's like multiple, you know? So it takes a while is what I'm trying to say. It takes a long time to take answer these questions and do them. And mind you, there's not just these 30 AMBOSS questions that you're doing, because we use AMBOSS, I don't know, there's probably another way you can do it. Boards Bios, I heard, is nice too. But you have to do these AMBOSS questions. And then you have to do like, we have personal questions that our teachers hand out that are really good. So it's like, after that, then you have to apply the knowledge using questions. Questions a day, review them. That's the second best part of studying, because getting questions right is amazing. I'm actually learning, wow, this is cool, I'm smart. Now, when you're getting them wrong and you just studied for 6 weeks straight on this topic and you just got 10 in a row wrong, you know, you start thinking like, yeah. It's like real beef for real. Like, nigga, I just did all this while I'm getting these hoes wrong. Like, I've been studying for 6 weeks. I shouldn't get these wrong. Or at least not 10 in a row. That'll happen to you, man. That'll happen to you. So all that being said, that is how I study. That is how I'm able to be successful, I guess, in medical school. So I have, that's really it for real. That's it, bro. Thank you guys for watching the video. You know, love. Appreciate y'all. Like, comment, subscribe, all that shit. You feel me? Do you use any of this in undergrad? Don't. Like, enjoy your time. Like, don't do any of this. This lame as hell. You do this shit if you have to. But if you were to incorporate this stuff, you'd be different, bro. I'm talking different.